Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarandha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees to our weekly Bhagavatam study. So in the last week, we have discussed from chapter 12, and before that we discussed from chapter 11 also, wherein we saw the duties, activities, and the characteristics of the people who are following four varnas, one of the four varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and also the duties of women. All these things are described in chapter 11. And then, in order to describe the duties of the four ashramas, chapter 12, the first half talks about brahmachari. How a brahmachari living in the ashram of a guru should be dedicated to the service of guru and learn all the Vedic literatures from the guru, very humbly, menially serving guru. And then, after completion of studies, they have 3-4 options. One is they go home, get married. Second is they can directly enter into vanaprastha or sannyas ashram. Or third is they can continue as a student in the ashram of guru as a next brahmachari. So all these different offers are there, opportunities are there. They can become either grastha or vanaprastha or sannyasa, or they can continue as a next brahmachari. So now, but anyway, whether somebody is directly continuing after brahmacharya or somebody becoming vanaprastha after grihastha ashram, but technically those who become vanaprastha after grihastha ashram, what kind of duties they should follow? First of all, they should not cook. Second, they should not live in hut. They should live in caves. And third, they should be exposed to winters, summers, rainy seasons, and they should be performing severe austerities. They should not eat anything that is cooked, and they should not cook and they should not eat anything that is cooked given by somebody. Instead, they should only collect the fruits fallen from the trees and grains fully ripened in the plants. So they should be living like that. So many strict austerities are there. They should not shave, they should not cut the nails, and they should not wear opulently, wear only cowpin and outer garment. So they should sleep on the bare floor. So like that. It's basically training oneself to become detached from the material world, from the comforts of the material world. Like that, this vow should be followed either for 12 years, 8 years, 4 years, 2 years, or at least 1 year. But if one is not able to follow the strict rules and regulations for 12 long years or 8 long years, 4 long years, but in the meantime, because of their advanced age, they are not able to do all these things. They are, or because of some disease, they will not be able to follow strict rules and all. Then If those who are desiring to attain liberation, they should fast until death, not eating anything, not drinking anything, not moving, not hearing, not listening. They should simply lie down without moving here and there and closing eyes, closing ears, closing mouth, closing everything. They should be simply breathing and waiting for their death. That's how they should give up their body, meditating upon themselves and Brahman. How? So they need to give up all the 24 elements into respect to 24 the source elements in the material nature, having given up everything and offering everything to Paramatma from whom everything came, simply meditate upon that absolute truth, the Brahman, with an intention to attain Brahmatva or Kaivalya. So they should be simply lying down on the bare floor, waiting for the death. So this is how a Vanaprastha should follow Vanaprastha duties for 12, 8, 4, 2 or 1 years. If one gets sudden disease, unable to old age, unable to do all these things, they should fast for death. So like that. Now, the next chapter talks about, so Brahmacharya is over, Vanaprastha is also over, now Sannyasa, and the 14th chapter talks about Grihastha. The 13th chapter describes the conduct of the sannyasi through a conversation of Prahlad Maharaj with a renounced person, with a Avadut sadhu. Prahlad Maharaj talks about how a sannyasi ashram. So like so this is like little big chapter, about 45 verses are there. So we'll discuss about sannyasi, what should be, how they should be conducting themselves, what is their behavior, how they should be dealing with the main matter, material world, people around, and how they should spend their time in a day, etc., etc. All these things are indicated. So yes, with the example of an Avadhuta Brahmana, the entire narration is mentioned. Sri Narada Uvacha.
श्रीनारद उवाच
Kalpastu evam parivrajya
कल्पस्व एवं परिव्रजा
deha matrava sheshitaha
देहमात्रावशेषिता
gramaika vidina
रामैकरात्रविधिना
nirapekshascharenmahim.
निरपेक्षश्चरेन्महिम्. Sri Narad Muni said, a person able to cultivate spiritual knowledge should renounce all material connections and merely keeping the body inhabitable. He should travel from one place to another, passing only one night in each village. In this way, without dependence in regard to the needs of the body, the sannyasi should travel all over the world.
Yeah, the conduct of a Paramahamsa sannyasi. Narada Muni is saying that a competent person should leave the house with complete detachment and just keeping his body alive, should travel all over the world, passing only one night in each village. Grihastha, Brahmachari stays in the ashram of Guru, Grihastha stays in one's home, and Vanaprastha goes to one and stays in one cave, more or less staying at one place only. But it is sannyasi who is not supposed to stay one place for long. Only at max they can stay one day and then keep traveling. And while traveling, they should not accumulate any possessions. They should only live by begging just to maintain the body and soul together. It's like that. Because Vanaprastha was staying in the Vana, so he can get food from one. Some fruits are there, roots are there, some grains will be getting, and then something he will get from the forest. But this person is keep traveling only. He does not stay at one place. So where will he get? So he will be begging. just to maintain the body and soul together. And they keep traveling every day, not spending more than a day at one place. So then, now the context is a person after completing Grihastha ashram for 12, 8, 4 or 2 years of Vanaprastha duties one should perform. So if one becomes old or deceased, one is not able to do the Vanaprastha duties, they should fast until death. But otherwise, if one is healthy and good and successfully completed either 1 year or 2 year or 4 year or 8 year or 12 year of Vanaprastha duties, then they should take sannyas. Then what kind of lifestyle they should lead, that is being indicated here. If having mentioned in this way, having meditated in this way, a person is incapable of jnana yoga, he should then fast. So what was mentioned in the previous chapter, if one is not able to continue the fasting, then one should fast until death. One continue to follow the rules and regulations, one should fast until death. So that was mentioned in the previous chapter. But if one meditates in this way, but is capable of practicing jnana yoga, then one should renounce and wander the earth. But after performing Vanaprastha duties, if one is good, healthy, then one should take sannyas and wander the earth. So that is the meaning of this verse. Now, 3 verses speak of the conduct of the sannyasi. What is the conduct of this kind of sannyasi is being indicated. So the important thing is that, so we should leave the house with complete detachment and eat food only just to maintain the body and soul together, etc., etc.
Ji, we can't hear you.
1 second. Yeah. Or when Mataji was having trouble to join, that's why just okay. So now let us see 2 more verses. What kind of conduct they should follow. Bibriyad edi asauvasaha.
Vibhruyadyadyastavasaha
Kaupi nachadanam param.
kaupi nachhadanam param
Tektam nalinga dandader.
yaktam nalingada
Anyat kinchid anapadi.
anyat kinchittanapadi. A person in the renounced order of life may try to avoid even a dress to cover himself. If he wears anything at all, it should be only a loin cloth. And when there is no necessity, a sannyasi should not even accept a danda. A sannyasi should avoid carrying anything but a danda and a kamandalu.
So having stated a couple of things in the previous verse, that they should not be staying at one place, continuously traveling, and eat food just to maintain the body and soul together. And now it says, if he wears clothing, he should wear only a loin cloth and outer covering, a kaupin and a dhoti. That's all. When there is no emergency situation, he should not accept material things. He has already given up. Only in emergency, they can accept something. Otherwise, this much only. They should not have anything else other than lion cloth and outer garment, and also should accept the signs of renunciation like the danda and kamandalu. The positions are danda, kamandalu, and one cloth for accepting the begging. That's all. Nothing more than that. So they should completely renounce the material possessions. Then only they are qualified to become sannyasis. He should not accept what is given up. things associated with material people other than the marks of a sannyasi like the danda and kamandalu. If there is some emergency, he can wear what was given up, the normal clothing, in order to protect the body. But in case of emergencies, sometimes some severe health issue is there, then they can accept for protection of the body, some clothing, etc. Otherwise, what one was using while one is grihastha, one should give up all those things. Then one should be continuously wandering from village to village. So that is sannyasa. Then Eka evacharet bhukshur.
एक एव चरेत् भिक्षुर
Atma ramo napashrayah.
आत्मा रामो न पाश्रयः
Sarvabhuta suhrushanto.
सर्वभूतसुरशान्तो
Narayana parayanaha.
नारायणपरायणः. The sannyasi, completely satisfied in the self, should live on alms begged from door to door, not being dependent on any person or any place. He should always be a friendly well-wisher to all living beings and be a peaceful, unalloyed devotee of Narayan. In this way, he should move from one place to another.
Yeah. The important thing, surrender to Narayana. Narayana. And then such a sannyasi, completely satisfied in the self, not depending on any person or any place. So they should not be saying that, okay, today I went to this village and these people treated me very nicely. They gave me nice foodstuffs. Not like that. Not attached to anything else. They should be satisfied in their meditation upon Lord Narayana, not about what they are getting, etc., etc. So they should. That's why they should not depend on place or person. A well-wisher to all living entities, and they should be behaving like a kind well-wisher to all the living entities. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu, sarva bhuta suhrush, shanto, and completely peaceful. This should be the conduct of a sannyasi, and they should be moving alone. They should not be moving in a group or something like that. They should be able to moving alone. So these are the three verses in that way briefly indicate how a sannyasi should be leading their life, how a sannyasi should be conducting oneself, and what is the duty lifestyle of a sannyasi, directly or indirectly is indicated. So these are the strict rules and regulations that have been directed by the Vedic literatures for a sannyasi. So like that. Now, such a sannyasi who is conducting like that, what is his outlook toward the world? How does he treat the world? How does he interact with the world? That is being indicated in the upcoming verses. Pashed atmani ado vishwam.
Pashed atmani ado, sorry. Pashed atmani ado vishwam.
Pare sat asato vyaye.
Pare sad asato vyaye.
Atmanam cha param brahma.
Atmanam cha parabrahma.
Sarvatra sad asadmaya.
Sarvatra sad asanmaye. The sannyasi should always try to see the Supreme pervading everything and see everything, including this universe, resting on the Supreme.
Yeah, same thing like Bhagavad Gita verse. Yo pashyati mam sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. That should be the conduct of a sannyasi who is practicing jnana yoga. So he should always try to see this universe in the Lord, who is beyond cause and effect. Sad Asat Param, and should see the Lord, the Supreme Brahman, in all things. So, what was that verse? Of course, Yomam Pachat Sarva Sarvanchamay Pachat, that is also there. Maya Datam Vidam Sarvam Jagad Avyakta Murtina Mastani Sarvabhutani Nachaham Teshu Avastitam. So, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 4 and 5, we hear that what is the outlook of these people, etc. So, they should be able to see the Lord in everything and everything in the Lord. So, they will be able to see everything in connection with the absolute truth. So, wherever they see, they will only see absolute truth. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Astini Suni Chaiva Sapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. So, like there's such a Pandita, such a well knowledgeable Jnani person, he sees every living entity as a spirit soul, as Brahman, an expansion of Parabrahman. Such kind of a vision they will have. Thus, they will see Brahman in everything, and they will also see everything in Brahman. Because Sarvam Kalau Idam Brahma. Everything is manifested from Brahman. That understanding they will have, and with that understanding, they keep traveling everywhere. That's why we call them as Parivrajaka Acharya. They keep traveling everywhere and meditating upon like this Paramahamsas. They don't have any material possessions and material attachments and material liking or disliking, etc. They're completely indifferent to the material world. Such is the conduct, such should be the behavior of a sannyasi. Now, further, okay, this is fine. They will be able to see, etc. etc. This is their external outlook, how they should conduct themselves. But what is their thought process within their mind? That is explained in the next verse. Sukti Prabodhayo Sandao
Sukti Prabodhaye Sandha
Atmano Gatimatmadruk
Atmano Gatimatmadruk
Pashyan Bandham Cha Moksham Cha
Pashan Bandham cha Moksham
Maya Matram Na Vastutaha.
Maya Matra Vastuta. During unconsciousness and consciousness, and between the two, he should try to understand the self and be fully situated in the self. In this way, he should realize that the conditional and liberated stages of life are only illusory and not actually factual. With such a higher understanding, he should see only the absolute truth pervading everything.
Now, such a jnani's outlook while waking, dreaming, and in sleep, deep sleep, and while walking in this world, how they should be treating this universe, the world in which they are living. That is what is indicated in this verse. If you see here, during deep sleep, dreaming, and waking states, one whose aim is Atma, Atmano Gatim Atmadrik, and who sees the truth about Atma, sees bondage and liberation as unreal. One who has already come to the Jivan Mukta platform, one who is only seeing the Atma, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavyastini, Suni Chaiva Spakecha, Pandita Samadarshana. One who has come to see only Atma. No, he is not seeing the external body of a dog, dog eater, elephant, Brahmana, etc., cow, etc. Instead, he is only seeing the spirit soul in each and every living entity. Such a person, either in waking state or in dreaming state or in deep sleep, he only sees the truth of Atma and also sees bondage and liberation. He understands what causes bondage and what causes liberation. So he always safeguards himself from those things which cause bondage, and he always cultivates those things which cause liberation. He was only interested in attaining liberation. So he is not at all interested in the material world, which is the cause of bondage. So in that way it is understood. But basically, in one sense, he sees everything in relation to the material world as unreal. It is like for him, the entire material world is like a dream. It becomes like a dream world because he understands that he is supposed to be in the world of wakefulness. So he does not interact with the dream world so much. He becomes completely indifferent to the dream world. Having the goal of Atma at all times in the juncture which reveals the state of deep sleep in which Atma Tattva is covered by tamas. So basically, a person whose goal is self-realization and attaining liberation, such a person in the juncture which reveals the state of deep sleep in which Atma is covered by tamas. So basically, before attaining mukti or liberation, but while going for liberation during that time, if he is in deep sleep and if the person is in waking or dream states, in the deep sleep state, the Atma Tattva is completely covered by tamas. In the waking and dream state, the Atma Tattva is distorted, partially covered. Such a person not experiencing tamas or agitation at those times, seeing the truth about Atma always, at all times, seeing bondage and liberation as only Maya, he should see Supreme Brahman everywhere. For us, people in general, when we are in deep sleep, our knowledge is completely covered. We don't know who we are. In deep sleep, we forget who we are. Then we don't remember only. And in daytime and during a dream state, we have ourselves as a different identity. So we say that I am a brahmachari, I am Pandu Santoju, I am an engineer, I am this, I am that, and somebody else will say something. That is called as distorted understanding of Atma Tattva. Some understanding is there that I am alive, I am human being, ऐसा करके कुछ तो है, but that is not complete. That is distorted understanding of Atma Tattva. But a person who is already on the way to attain liberation on the juncture matlab is almost liberated, is about to get liberation. Such a person who already taken sannyasa, such a person will be seeing Atma only, either in waking state or in dream state or in deep sleep state. Always he only sees Atma, uncovered by, matlab without covering the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Freed from the influence of three modes, he only sees the Atma, either in waking state or in dream state or in deep sleep state. So that is what the difference between us and this Jnani Sannyasi. Because he is able to see Atma at every instant. Even in deep sleep, he is not ignorantly sleeping. Even in deep sleep, he will be able to experience the Atma. Such is the realization. A person who is following this sannyasa.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, what is the meaning of this line? That in this way he should realize that conditional and liberated stages are illusory. Conditional state is illusory, but how liberated state you can accept it as illusory?
Pasyan bandham cha moksham cha maya matram na vastutaha. We'll see what is being said in the next verses. Based on that, we'll see.
Okay.
It is said in the yoga scriptures, Nidradau jagarasyante yo bhava upajayate tam bhavam bhavayan nityam muchyante netaro yatihi. The sannyasi who meditates constantly upon the state which presides in deep sleep and after waking is liberated. No one else is liberated. Who will be liberated? The sannyasi who meditates constantly upon the state which presides in sleep, and after waking is liberated. So that means, just like in sleep, we forget our identity. In waking state, we do remember our identity. That we are so and so, child of so and so, we are studying so and so, etc. etc. Knowledge is there. Similarly, a person who is in illusion is in bondage. A person is in knowledge of the self is actually liberated. All others are not liberated. That is the meaning of liberation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, actually, sorry, but I didn't understand this. That this sannyasi meditates constantly upon the state which presides in sleep. Means during the sleep, whatever state one is, that
No, no.
state.
In this verse, sleep means ignorance. Sleep means bodily identity or ignorance.
Okay.
And waking means realizing that you are Atma.
Okay.
Just like when we are in sleep, we forget who we are. When we wake up, we know who we are.
Yes.
Same way, when in knowledge, when one is self-realized, one knows who one is. When one is in conditioned state, one does not know, one is in ignorance. One does not know one's real identity. So like that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
नाभिनन्दे ध्रुवं मृत्युम्
नाभिनन्दमित्रवं मृत्यु
अध्रुवं वास्य जीवितम्
अध्रुवं वा सजीवितं
कालं परं प्रतीक्षेत
कालं परं प्रतीक्षेता
भूतानां प्रभवाप्ययम्.
भूतानां प्रभवप्ययम्. Translation. Since the material body is sure to be vanquished, and the duration of one's life is not fixed, neither death nor life is to be praised. Rather, one should observe the eternal time factor in which the living entity manifests himself and disappears.
So Mataji was saying that what is the meaning of considering conditioned state and liberation state as bandham moksham cha mithya, as illusion. So one sense we say that moksha is liberation and bandham is like conditioned state overall. But other way we can also say bandham means we are bound in a particular body, and moksha means one is released from that body. That means death. From birth to death, we are bound in this particular body. That is our bondage. And moksha means at death, we give up this grass body and we may enter into some other grass body. But at least from this grass body, there is liberation. One gives up that grass body. That is moksha. So now, this sannyasi sees the birth and death of a living entity in this material world as illusion. Because they are in darkness. So Atma is eternal. For Atma, there is no birth and there is no death. For Atma, there is no bondage and there is no liberation. In that sense, there is no bondage by a particular body and liberation in the form of death from a particular body. Such kind of things are treated by such a sannyasi who is in knowledge of Atma as illusory, as meaningless. I think that should be the understanding. So there the word moksham should not be taken as a final liberation. That is the moksham in the sense of being liberated from one's body at the time of death.
Okay,
So like
Prabhuji.
that.
Got it.
Therefore, one should not praise the death of the body, which is certain. So nowadays people say that when somebody is bedridden and very much sick and all these things happen, If they pass away, they say, yeah, acha ho gaya. Or somebody who led a wonderful life and leaves the body in a healthy condition suddenly, they also say, acha, acha ho gaya. They did not go through bedridden state and then troubling others. They have gone, sote sote pran chhod diya without much difficulty, without causing difficulty to anybody else. So like that they say. So neither one should praise the death, which is anyway certain, nor one should praise the life of a body, which is uncertain. That means, so one somebody may be good looking, somebody may be healthy, strong, stout, all these things. So one should not be praising those things. At the same time, somebody died in a good condition, that should not be praised. So the living and death of this world should not be given great importance. Instead, one should observe the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, sorry, one should observe the supreme power of time, which causes appearance and disappearance of all beings. The birth, maintenance, and death of any person is taken care by Kala. Instead of praising somebody's birth, growth, beauty of body, etc., and glorifying somebody's death, one should be always vigilant of time, how time is influencing us, how time is putting us in illusion by giving us this beautiful body and causing it to wither away. So sannyasi should be always on guard of time. It's time which is running everything. It's time which creating, it is time which destroys. So always vigilant about time, not about the body. They should neither praise the living body nor praise the dead body. Instead, they should be always vigilant, apramatta of time, kala. So that is sannyasi. Next. नासश्चास्त्रेषु सज्जेत Yeah, someone please repeat.
Narcissus. Okay, Mataji, go ahead.
नासच्छास्त्रेषु सज्जेत
नोपजीवेत जीविकाम्
नोपजीवेत जीविकाम्
वादवादां त्यजेत् तर्कान्
वादवादां त्यजेत् तर्कान्
पक्षं कंचन संश्रयेत्
पक्षं कं च न संश्रयेत्. Literature that is a useless waste of time. In other words, literature without spiritual benefit should be rejected. One should not become a professional teacher as a means of earning one's livelihood, nor should one indulge in arguments and counter arguments, nor should one take shelter of any cause or faction.
So such a sannyasi traveling from one village to other village, how they should behave, that is being indicated here. Such a sannyasi should not be attached to material literature. They should not be interested in material literature. Instead, they should only interested in that literature which award them liberation. Or they should not maintain themselves by an occupation. They should not follow any jivika. Instead, in order to maintain the body and soul together, they should simply beg from a home and live for that day. That's all. One should give up the controversial arguments and not take either side of an argument. Neither they should take part in arguments, nor they should support any person in the arguments. They should simply going ahead. So that is the understanding. Furthermore, one should not take either side in argument. The understanding is, in order to show that I am so knowledgeable to other people, one should not unnecessarily enter into debates and all. But sometimes, if it is required to establish tattva, then one may enter into debate. Basically, for one's own personal name and fame, one should not do anything. So that is the understanding. And then one more thing, they should not maintain disciples also. That is also there in the next verse. Na shishyan anubadnita
न शिष्याननुबध्नीत
grantan naivabhyaset bahun
ग्रन्थान् नैवाभ्यसेत् बहु
na vyakyam upayunjita
न व्याख्यामुपयुञ्जेत
naramban arabhet kvachit.
नारम्भान् आरभेत् क्वचित्. A sannyasi must not present allurements of material benefit to gather many disciples, nor should he unnecessarily read many books or give discourses against religion. He must never attempt to increase material opulence unnecessarily.
Such a sannyasi should not seek disciples or study so many books. They should not accept disciple to show that I am a big guru, I have hundreds of disciples. Not like that. But they can accept disciples who are seriously interested in attaining liberation. From the point of view of showing off to the material world, one should neither accept disciples nor study so many books and display one's eloquence on different subject matters, nor partake in many discourses, does not get into so many debates and discourses. And also, nor attempt huge projects at any time. And also, does not undertake big projects to show that I'm so great. It's like that, like that. Because they are interested in attaining liberation, they should be only doing those things which are conducive to attain liberation, not those things which are conducive for being bound in this material world. So that is the overall thing. He should not seek disciples out of greed or take by force. Aramban means building temples and such big things they should not do. Sannyasi, their main aim is continuously traveling. The reason is when a sannyasi does anything, the natural tendency of the people of this world is when we do something, we become attached to it. That's why it is said that for a sannyasi, they should not do big things because there may be a possibility that they may become attached to it and they may remain there only. Instead, the primary duty of sannyasi is continuously moving on. So staying at one place is completely against to continuously moving on. So in that way, it is not recommended by Shastra that sannyasi should be doing big things. So in that way. Next.
Shah Prabhuji, Prabhuji, regarding this Shastra reading, like we generally see like sannyasi or even at least in ISKCON I'm talking about, those who are up to the stage of taking sannyasa, they are very knowledgeable. So they must have read many scriptures like that. So how to understand in that perspective that they should not be reading much books like?
No. Material literature.
Oh, material literature. Okay.
Even the books also, see, even Vedic literatures also, there are so many sections of the Vedas which talk about Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga.
Yeah.
That section of Vedic literature they should not read.
Okay. Yeah, understood.
They should read only those sections of Vedic literatures which are inspiring one to attain liberation.
Okay. Yes, Yoga.
Material literature or Karmakanda section of the Vedas will inspire people to do construct a home, perform yajna, go to Swarga, enjoy. All these things will be there in that. So that is not conducive for a sannyasi to attain liberation. Such kind of things should not be read.
Prabhuji, whatever sannyasi is talked about till now, what we are reading, it is mostly those who have followed the path of jnana as a vanaprasthi and then they enter the sannyasa order. For them, it is all talked about, no? Because every time that liberation thing is coming,
Yes,
that is
yes. It is for a traditional Vanaprastha, not traditional Varnashrama follower sannyasi. Those who practice either Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, basically here mainly Jnana Yoga. Those with the intention to attain Sahajya Mukti practicing Jnana Yoga, their sannyasa, how it should go about, that is being talked about here.
okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Nayater ashrama prayo
Nayater ashramah prayo
dharma etur mahatmanaha
dharma hetur mahatmanah
shantasya samachittasya
Shantasya samachittasya
vibriyad utavatyajit.
Bibhrayat utavatyajit. A peaceful, equipoised person who is factually advanced in spiritual consciousness does not need to accept the symbols of a sannyasi, such as the Tridanda or Kamandalu. He may sometimes accept those symbols and sometimes reject them.
The stage of Paramahamsa, who is completely peaceful, greatly advanced, and equal in all circumstances, is not meant for producing sorry. So basically, when a person who is practicing sannyasa ashrama duties and all for few years, maybe 4 years, 6 years and all, eventually when they are purified of all the misgivings, when they are properly situated, whom we can call them as Paramahamsa now. So that those who reached Paramahamsa platform, the final stages of sannyasa ashram, such a person is completely peaceful, greatly advanced, and equal in our circumstances, is not meant for producing personal good qualities. Such a person is not interested in showing off himself as a great learned person to this world. Such a person may or may not accept the symbols of sannyasi, danda and kamandala. Those sannyasis who already reached Paramahamsa platform, then if they want, they can carry danda kamandalu. If they don't want, they don't have to carry danda kamandalu. It's up to them. So like that. This verse speaks of the Paramahamsa among the types of sannyasi. The ashrama of the Paramahamsa was peaceful. The ashrama Paramahamsa who is peaceful, a great soul, and equal in all circumstances, is not generally for producing qualities in him. Matlab, they are not so interested in showing off themselves to the people of this world. They are in Samadhi platform, they are Jivan Mukta platform, they are Samadhi platform, they are relishing all happiness within themselves only. That means that the sannyasi who is immature in his jnana should practice yama and niyamas for purifying his existence. However, when he is mature in jnana, he does not have to practice them. All the rules and regulations, controlling senses, controlling mind, accepting danda, kamandalu, etc., they're all meant for neophyte sannyasis. When a sannyasi comes to Paramahamsa platform, they are freed from all the rules and regulations of sannyasa order. As we study in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, Atma Ramascha Munaya Nirgranta Nirganta means those who are beyond the rules and regulations of sannyasa order. Who? Atma Rama. Those who have come to the platform of Atma Rama. Those who have come to the platform of Paramahamsa. Such a person no need to follow any rules and regulations of the Vedic literatures or any rules and regulations of the sannyasa ashram. But means the rules and regulations becomes natural for them. They've already gone beyond the rules and regulations. Like that. The yamas and niyamas are already accomplished. At that time, he may carry the marks of sannyasi such as staff and kamandalu to set an example for society, or he may not, since they are not necessary. Such advanced sannyasi was come to Bhagava's platform. He no need to show off to people that he is knowledgeable, he is so renounced and all, and he also no need to carry danda kamandalu. If you want, he can carry to set example to society. Otherwise, if he does not want to carry, he no need to carry. So both are acceptable. Avyaktalingo vyaktarto
Avyaktalingo vyaktato
manishi unmatta balavat
Manishi unmatta balavat
kavir mokavad atmanam
Kavir mukavat atmanam
sadrushtya darshayendranam.
sadrishta darshayenaram. Translation. Although a saintly person may not expose himself to the vision of the human society, but his behavior, his purpose is disclosed. To human society, he should present himself like a restless child, and although greatest, he is the greatest, though thoughtful orator, he should present himself like a dumb man.
Such a Paramahamsa sannyasi, how they should behave after reaching the Paramahamsa platform. Although a saintly person may not expose himself to the vision of human society, his purpose is clear. Generally, such people are always hiding themselves. Either they stay in Himalayas or in caves or forest. They don't come to cities very often. That is understood. Very simple. Though he is wise, if at all he has come to city, if at all he has to be among in the midst of all the people of city and other people, though he is wise, he should exactly present himself like a retarded child to human society. And though he is eloquent, he should present himself like a dumb man. He should behave like a Jada, like Jada Bharata behaved. Like that, they should behave. Because those who are interested in attaining liberation, if they are in the midst of people, if they are presenting their knowledge, all these things, so many followers will follow after them. And they respect and they give him honor, they give him positions. All these things may be detrimental to one's attaining liberation. So when it comes to dealing with the people of this world, they should behave like small kids, madman, something like that. Many times, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would behave like that. Because people would come to him, ask for blessings, this, that, so many things and all. They would be constantly disturbing him. So in order to get away from them, either he would stay in Bahir Bhumi, stay very close to Bahir Bhumi so that others will not disturb him, or he would behave like a small child, frivolous, or also he behave like a madman. So that people would think that he's a mad person, why should we go there? So they would offer obeisances from far only. If somebody goes nearby, he would shout at them, he would beat them like a madman, so that no one would dare to come close to him, so that no one will disturb him. So like that they should conduct, so that they would not be engulfed by material name, fame, prestige, etc. etc. That is understanding. Because their aim is to attain liberation. Their aim is to leave this world and go back to transcendence. So why would they do things which bind them in this world? That is understanding. He becomes like this in order to avoid falling from his concentration. He does not have the external characteristics of the sannyasi, but he is fixed in his purpose of seeing Atma. He is only interested in science of self-realization. Such is the strict rule of a sannyasi. So now, these are like general rules that which they are supposed to follow, how they should conduct themselves, what should be their internal and external behavior, external and external thought process, etc., has been indicated. Now, we are going to see a live example of such a sannyasi. There was one sannyasi whom Prahlad Maharaj met, and we will hear how a sannyasi should be leading their life from a sannyasi. So that is the rest of the chapter. Any questions till now?
No, Prabhuji.
Other devotees?
Vijay, actually, that beginning, that verse was then a state between consciousness and unconsciousness. There means it was confusion only. I didn't understand what it means by stage between consciousness and unconsciousness.
Stage between liberation and bondage. It's basically, see now, a normal person is completely ignorant of liberation. A person who is already liberated is completely knowledge of liberation. But a sadhaka who is practicing, currently the sadhaka is a sannyasi. The sannyasi who is following sannyasa dharma, just before attaining liberation, what should be their life? What should be their behavior? That is understanding.
Okay, so it's a sandhi period, like how we say that.
Currently what we are, currently what one is, one who is practicing sadhana, they are trying to overcome the conditioning and attain liberation. So it is a transition period.
Okay, thank you.
Other devotees, anyone has any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, I'm just asking, all these whatever rules and norms are given, this is for sannyasis. Are these applying to the devotees also who are practicing Krishna consciousness? Because for us, if you are not to speak or if you're not to share, then how do we practice then?
No.
So this is
See, it is not about not to speak. It is not about not to share. I told one place. They should not accept disciples for name and fame.
Oh, okay.
If some disciple is interested in attaining liberation, they should accept those disciples. Neither the disciple is interested in name and fame, nor guru is interested in name and fame. So they are there, they are moving on. They can't stay at one place. So like that. For example, a worldly person wants to become a disciple of a sannyasi. So person is living in city and guru is traveling. Even such a guru accepting such a disciple, if he is traveling, he does not have any problem. But if a guru has to stay back in the city, the guru will get respect, name, fame. That will bind the person. So like that. That's why they should not accept disciples.
Okay. So basically, this is about about subtlety of your consciousness also in one sense. That the fame and the pride, like we say, puja la pratishtha should not be accepted at any point of time. There's something like this. Okay.
It's the same thing which was told by Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj to Vasisth Thakur. Never ever stay in Maya Nagar. Never ever accept disciples. Basically, all these things, from the worldly name and fame point of view, they should not be accepted. For the purpose of helping others attain liberation, certainly they should be accepted. Only those who are sincere. So that is understanding. But anyway, what we are discussing here is about the strict sannyasi rules for the regular practitioners.
Yeah.
And the devotees, if they want, they can follow all these things. But if they are busy performing preaching and other bhakti activities, if they don't have so much time to do all these things, that is okay. That is like Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. There is a devotee who has accepted sannyasa, and sannyasa order itself indicates entails that they should follow certain rules and regulations. That's sannyasa dharma. Whatever is there, not to stay at one place for more than one day, continuously traveling, not accepting any disciples, not unnecessarily speaking, yeah, all these unnecessary things, all these things and all, not entering into debates and all these things. But if a devotee, for the purpose of propagating bhakti, if he has to stay in one city, if he has to do deliver so many lectures and propagate Harinam Sankirtan, this, that, and all. So Lord Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityajya. No problem. If you give up your sannyas dharma, but you have engaged in bhakti, preaching, all these things, I will take care of the sin of not following sannyas dharma after accepting sannyasa.
Yeah.
For a sannyasi. For same way, for a grihastha, after being grihastha but spending all the time in propagating Krishna consciousness but not able to perform grihastha duties, that is a sin. But I will take care of that sin.
Oh, that's something nice to hear.
Lord does not say that, no, you bhakti ke liye sab kuch chhod do. No. Actually,
Understood.
being a person in a particular ashrama, particular varna, one should be following the respective duties. For doing bhakti activities, if one is not able to do the varnashrama dharma activities, then Lord says, anyway, that is a sin, but I will take care of the sin. You don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
So that is understanding.
Okay. Thank you, Roj. Thank you.
Atrapi udaharanti mam
Atrapi udaharanti ma
itihasam puratanam
itihasam puratanam
prahradasya cha samvadam
prahladasya cha samvadam
muner ajagarasya cha.
muner ajagarasya cha. As a historical example of this, learned sages recite the story of an ancient discussion between Prahlad Maharaj and a great saintly person who was feeding himself like a python.
As an example of this, learned sages recite an ancient story, Itihasam Puratanam, a discussion between Prahlad Maharaj and a sage who was feeding himself like a python. Ajagarasya. Basically, it is called Ajagara Vritti or Ayachita Vritti. They don't even beg. Like Madhavendra Puripad, he also followed Ajagara Vritti or Ayachita Vritti. He would travel from village to village, but he would never stand in front of a house and beg for his survival. If some people see him and considering him as a sadhu, if they want to offer something on their own, he would accept. Otherwise, he would fast for the entire day if no one offers anything to him. So like that, there was another sadhu who was also following Ajagara Vritti or Ayachita Vritti, and Prahlad Maharaj happened to meet him and had a conversation with him. But that conversation will be narrated in the rest of the chapter now. That is a Puratana story. So now, so one day Prahlad Maharaj was going on to forest like that. On the way, he saw one person who was lying down on the ground and simply lie down, that's all. Just like a python does not move here and there. Python is not like snake. Snakes are keep moving. They don't stay at one place, but python stays at one place only. He opens its mouth and on its own some living entities would enter into his mouth and it will close its mouth and eat it. Just like we see in the Krishna Lila, Aghasura. He was huge python and he simply opened his mouth. When the Gopas entered into the mouth of that great python on their own, then python closed his mouth. That's all. It does not endeavor for getting food. It simply comes and opens its mouth and waits. Whatever comes on its own into the mouth, that is what is accepted by python. That kind of vritti is called ajagara vritti. Ajagara vritti or ayachita vritti. So let us see who is he. Tamshayanam daropaste
Samshayanam darospate
kaveryam sahasanuni sayyasanuni
Kaviryam Sahasamuni
rajaswalaistanu deshair
Rajasvalastano Dese
nigudhamala tejasam
Niguda Niguda Malatejasam
dadarshalokan vicharan
Sadarsalokan Vicharan
lokatattva vivistaya
Loka Tattva Vivistasya
ऋतो मात्यै कति कतिपयै
Vrito Mate Katipaye
प्रहरादो भगवत्प्रिया
Prarado Bhagavat Priya. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj, the most dear servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, once went out touring the universe with some of his confidential associates just to study the nature of saintly persons. Thus, he arrived at the bank of the Kaveri, where there was a mountain known as Sahaya. There he found a great saintly person who was lying on the ground covered with dirt and dust, but who was deeply spiritually advanced.
Praharad Maharaja, the dear servant of the Supreme Lord, Bhagavat Priya, once went touring the provinces with some of his ministers to study their natures. Basically, he was visiting the kingdom. On the bank of the Kaveri River, on a plateau of the Sayadri Mountains, Krishna, Kaveri, Sayadri Mountains. Kaveri is on the southern side, and Sayadri Mountain also we can see on the southern side. So that is where Prahlad Maharaj saw a person lying on the ground, covered with dirt, but having pure, profound spiritual radiance. So basically, externally is looking like fully covered with dirt because he was lying on the ground. Whether proper clothing is there or not, also we don't know. His whole body is covered by dust. But when closely observes, for Prahlad Maharaj, he appeared very pure and full of knowledge and emitting radiance. That is being described about the person whom Prahlad Maharaj met. Saya Sanuni means on a plateau of the Saya mountains. He had dust on the limbs of his entire body. Tanu Deshai. Yes, Mataji, you are trying to say something?
No, just wanted to know whether Saya means
Where is
Sayadri.
Sahyadri mountain?
So just wanted to know whether Saya mountain means Sayadri mountains. Is it
Maybe हो
Sayadri?
सकता है वो नहीं हो सकता because Sayadri mountain we can take it as whole Western Ghat area. Bombay, we say na in Bombay Sayadri mountains are there.
Yes, yes.
This Nasik, all this area. So like that we can take them all the way up to Kanyakumari, the whole Western Ghats, Konkan area. That is where Kaveri is coming out.
Okay.
In the Western Ghats only Kaveri is coming. So from that way we can take it.
Okay. Thank you.
So Prahlad Maharaj was traveling on the chariot with all the roadside.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
One second. So he saw on the roadside one person was lying on the ground, his whole body is covered. But when Prahlad Maharaj saw him carefully, he understood that this person is not an ordinary person. Though externally his body is covered with dirt, but he is completely pure and is completely full of knowledge. And the spiritual radiance is emanating from his transcendental body. That is what he understood. Yeah, yes, Mataji.
I think someone was asking about the Sayya Mountains. It's actually known as Western Ghats, and the range runs from western coast of India, including Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu.
Yeah,
And these
that's what I'm.
these mountains are mentioned in as a 7 main mountain chains of India: Mahindra, Malya, Sukita, Rishka, Vindhya, and Paripatna.
Yeah, it's basically a range of mountains starting from Maharashtra, goes all the way up to Mahendragiri, Kanyakumari. The entire Western Ghat area, it is called as Saya Mountains. Good. Thank you, Mataji. Karmana Kritibirvamsha
Karmana kritibhirvacha
Lingair Varnashramadibihi
lingair varnashramadibhihi
Na Vidanti Janayam Vai
na vidanti janayam vai
Sosav Itina Veticha.
tosav iti na veti cha. Neither by that saintly person's activities, by his bodily features, by his words, nor by the symptoms of his varnashram status could people understand whether he was the same person they had known.
So basically, neither by his activities, nor by his bodily appearance, nor by his words, nor by the symptoms of Varnashrama status, people were not able to understand who is he. Because he is neither Brahmachari, nor Grahastha, nor sannyasi, nor Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra. Who is he? Because he is not doing any activities, simply lying down. So it is as good whether he is living or dead. Such is the thing. So from his bodily features, you cannot say he's like fully beard is there, all over body hairs are there, dust is there. So which varna, which ashrama, it is very difficult to ascertain who is he. Such is the situation of this Ajagara Vritti person. So that person who is following this Ajagara Vritti or Ayachita Vritti. Though people in general could not understand who is he, whether he is sadhu or something else or a madman, but Prahlad Maharaj understood. Externally, he may be looking like a mad person, but actually he is a greatly elevated soul. Just like a few verses before, after reaching Paramahamsa state, in the worldly, in front of worldly people, such a Paramahamsa sannyasi should behave like a small child or like a madman, so that the people unnecessarily do not interact with him. So like that, here also this person is behaving like a madman. So like that. Tam natvabhyarcha vidivat
तं नत्वाभ्यर्च विधिवत्
padayo shirasa spurushan
पादयो शिरसा स्पृशन्
vivusturidamáprakshin
विवित्सूरिदमाप्राक्षिन्
महाभागवतो suraha.
महाभागवतोऽसुरा. The advanced devotee Prahlad Maharaj duly worshipped and offered obeisances to the saintly person who had adopted a python's means of livelihood. After thus worshipping the saintly person and touching his own head to the saint's lotus feet, Prahlad Maharaj, in order to understand him, inquired very submissively as follows.
While other people are not able to ascertain who is he, even they have a doubt whether he is still alive or dead. But Prahlad Maharaj, just by looking at him, understanding that he is a great sadhu, got down from his chariot, went to him, touched his feet, offered obeisances, and worshipped him. All those things he did. Worshipping him, offering respects, and touching his feet with their heads, people born in that place desired to know who he was. Prahlada spoke to him as follows. People would come and talk to him. Oh, my dear Sadhu, who are you? From where you have come? What is your name? Which is your village? What are you doing here? Like that, many times people would come to talk to him to understand who is he. But he never spoke to anybody. But today, Prahlad Maharaj is going to speak to him something and he will respond. Just like the Brahmana Bharata who was behaving like Jada Bharata, he would not speak to anybody. He would not interact with anybody. But he spoke to King Rahugana. Seeing that Rahugana is qualified to receive the knowledge, so he spoke. Otherwise, he never spoke to his father, his brothers, even to the dacoits, even to the people who used to keep him guarding the lands and all. He would behave like a dumb person, he would behave like a mad person. So, like that, he would always behave like him. But only in front of King Rahugana, he opened his mouth and spoke hi-fi knowledge, which is very difficult for us to understand also. Same way, this person also could not speak to anybody. People would come and ask him about his whereabouts, all these things, but he would never respond. But today, first time, he is going to respond to Prahlad Maharaj. The people born in that place wanted to know who he was, but he would never respond them, answer them for their queries. Bibarshi kayam pivanam.
Bibarshi kayam pivanam.
Sodyamo Bhagavan yata.
Sodyamo Bhagavan yata.
Vittam chaivodyamamavatam.
Vittam chaivodyamavatam.
Bhogo vittavatamiha.
Bhogo vittavatam iha.
Bhoginam kalu dehoyam.
Bhoginam kalu dehoyam.
Pitva bhavati nanyata.
Piva bhavati nanyata. Seeing the saintly person to be quite fat, Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear sir, you undergo no endeavor to earn your livelihood, but you have a stout body, exactly like that of a materialistic enjoyer. I know that if one is very rich and has nothing to do, he becomes extremely fat by eating, sleeping, and performing no work.
So normally, a Vanaprastha or sannyasi is understood to be very skinny because they are following the austerities. They would only eat whenever they would get something. That's why they are expected to be skinny. But Prahlad Maharaj seeing this person as a fatty person, then he was like kind of surprised. He had a doubt. He want to clarify that doubt and is asking, you have a fat body like one who endeavors for enjoyment. The people in this world who are enjoying and working hard for enjoyment, such people are generally fatty. That is what according to Prahlad Maharaj. A man who endeavors becomes wealthy. One who works becomes wealthy. The wealthy man enjoys. The person who has wealth, he enjoys. Those who enjoy become fat. Those who are enjoyers, those who are enjoying, those who are happy, they will become fat. It does not happen otherwise. So one who does not enjoy, one who is not having wealth, one who is not working hard, it is rare to see such a person to be fat. But you, we are seeing, we see that you don't seem to, you not seem to be working for your livelihood or for your enjoyment or anything. But in spite of that, you are very fat. How come you are fat? What was the reason for your fattiness? So that is the question asked by Prahlad Maharaj. See, one way we can see is fat, externally a fat. Other way, we have to understand that you are completely satisfied. What is the reason for your complete satisfaction? So the fatness can be equated to satisfaction. One who is satisfied is completely fat, obviously fat. So one is fat means one is satisfied. So what is the reason for your satisfaction? Even without working hard, even without earning money, even without enjoying, you seem to be satisfied. The people on the other side, they are doing all these things, then they seem to be satisfied. So that is the comparison. P1M means fat. You cannot say that your body has become fat simply by material nature. So my dear Sadhu, don't say that. So I become fat because material nature mota bana diya, main kya karu? Like that, don't say. Those who endeavor become wealthy. Those who work hard, they become wealthy. Those who become wealthy, they enjoy because they have all the wealth to enjoy. And those who enjoy because they are enjoying, they are happy, so they become fat. That is general understanding. One becomes fat by endeavor, not naturally. That means endeavor, wealth, enjoyment, and fat. That means endeavor leads to fat, but you are not endeavoring for your maintenance, for your livelihood. Still, you are fat. How come? That is the question. But internally, we have to understand in the bracket, people are endeavoring, working very hard to become happy. But very rarely somebody seems to be happy after endeavoring so much. But you, without endeavoring, completely are happy. Why? How? Like that. That is the question. You are just guessing. The Avaduta sage is saying that you are just guessing that I must be endeavoring. Based on the logic that if fat Devadatta does not eat in the daytime, he must eat at night time. There is one proverb in Sanskrit. Devadatta is fat, but he does not eat in the daytime. The understanding is Devadatta is fat because he eats in the night time. Though he does not eat in the daytime, but he eats in the night time, that's why he became fat. So scripture say that without eating, one cannot become fat. Either you eat in the daytime or you eat in the night time. You have to eat to become fat. But how come here this sadhu without eating properly, how can he become fat? That is the question. Nate shayanasya niruddyamasya
यते शयानस्य निरोधमस्य
brahmanuharto yata eva bhogaha
ब्रह्मन्नतुहतो यत् एव भोग
abhoginoyam tava vipradeha
अभोगिनं यं तव विप्रदेह
piva yatastadvadanaksham chet.
दिवायतस्तद्वादना शमन्ते. Translation: O Brahmana, full in knowledge of transcendence, you have nothing to do, and therefore you are lying down. It is also understood that you have no money for sense enjoyment. How then has your body become so fat under the circumstances? If you do not consider my question impudent, kindly explain how this has happened.
Oh Brahmana, since you are lying down, doing nothing, you certainly have no money, and thus clearly you have no enjoyment. Since you have fat body but do not enjoy, kindly explain how you are fat, if we are fit to hear. If I am qualified to understand this, kindly explain. Normally it is understood that those people who work, they earn money, they enjoy, they become fat. But you neither seem to be working hard nor seem to be enjoying, but still you are fat. How? So like that. No means certainly. Ha means it is clear. By his effulgence, Prahlada understood that he was a Brahmana. Though other people are not able to understand, Prahlad Maharaj understood that he is a Brahmana. So that's why he said, "Oh Brahmana, please tell me." So then Brahmana is saying, "Why do you conclude like this? How can you conclude like this? That I am simply lying down and doing nothing and I have no money and no enjoyment. But that on what basis you are concluding like this?" So Prahlad Maharaj says, Kavi Kalpo Nipunadruk
Kavi Kalpo Nipunadrik
Chitra Priya Katasamaha
Chitra Priya Katha Samaha
Lokasya Kurvata Karma
Lokasya Kurvatah Karma
Sheshetad Vikshitapiva.
Sheshe Tad Vikshitapi Va. Your honor appears learned, expert, and intelligent in every way. You can speak very well, saying things that are pleasing to the heart. You see that people in general are engaged in fruitive activities, yet you are lying here inactive.
Though wise, capable, astute, capable of speaking nicely, and equipoised, you lie down, looking at people performing actions with disgust or perhaps curiosity. He is telling that though you are acting like a dumb person, you are not dumb. Though you are acting like a mad person, you are not mad. Though you are acting like an ignorant person, but you are not ignorant. That's why he says, though wise, though you are completely now wise, capable of doing something, you are astute, strong and stout, capable of speaking nicely, and you are equipoised in the midst of dualities. And yet, you simply lie down doing anything. Even the people are playing pranks with you. They would be throwing rocks at you, stones at you, hurling abuses at you, but still you never respond. Some people may ask gently, some people may ask harshly, still you never respond. Or some people out of curiosity, they want to know who you are, still you never responded. Some people thinking that you are a madman, they would abuse you, still you never responded. That's why I am concluding that you are a Brahmana and I am asking you all this question. So like that Prahlad Maharaj said, I desire the nectar of your words to make myself successful. Since you seem to be endowed with wisdom, capability, astuteness, and other qualities by seeing your auspicious bodily features. My dear Brahmana Guru, please speak to me. I want to attain some realization that you have. So in that way, Prahlad Maharaj is humbly requesting him. You lie down while looking at people engaged in actions with disgust, or perhaps looking at them out of curiosity. Whatever people may be doing, but you never responded. Just like Rishabhadev, after accepting the sannyasa order or whatever Jada Yoga order, people would be throwing her stones at him, hurling abuses at him. Still, they would never respond. He would simply move on, move on, move on. Same way here, this Avaduta Brahmana also doing the same thing. Now, Narada will tell the response of that Avaduta Brahmana. Na Sri Narada Uvacha
Srinarada Uvacha
Saitam Daityapatina
Saitham Daityapatina
Pariprushto Mahamunihi
Pariprushto Maham
Smayamanastam Abhyaha
Smayamanastamabhyaha
Tadvagamrutayantritaha.
Tatvagavritayantvita. Narad Muni continued, when the saintly person was thus questioned by Prahlad Maharaj, the king of the Daityas, he was captivated by the shower of material words, and he replied to the inquisitiveness of Prahlad Maharaj with a smiling face.
Narada Muni responding that when he was thus questioned by Prahlad Maharaj, the sage was captivated by the shower of sweet words and replied to Prahlad with a smile. Now, for the first time, he smiled and began to reply. Till now, he never responded to anybody. Sri Brahmana Uvacha
Sri Brahmano Vacha
Vededam Asura Shrestha
Vededam Asura Shrestha
Bhavannanu Arya Sammataha
Bhavan Namya Arya Samammata
Iho Paramayornunam
Iho Paramayo Nanam
Padani Adhyatma Chakshusha.
Padyani Adhyatma Chakshusha. Translation. The saintly Brahmana said, O best of the Asuras, Prahlad Maharaj, who are recognized by advanced and civilized men, you are aware of the different stages of life because of your inherent transcendental eyes, with which you can see a man's character and thus know clearly the results of acceptance and rejecting of things, acceptance and rejecting of the things as they are.
So now the Adutta Brahmana is responding, O best of the demons, Asura Shrestha. Because Prahlad Maharaj born in the Asura dynasty is telling him Asura Shrestha. Respected by the Jnanis, you are aware of this by your internal vision. So my dear Prahlad, because you are already a pure devotee, you understand what am I doing here. You understand that even though externally I'm looking like a mad person, insane and all, but you understood that I am a knowledgeable, wise person. You know the results of man's action with and without desire. And now, in order to answer the question asked by Prahlad Maharaj, people work hard, earn money, become wealthy, spend that money, enjoy, they become fat. So this was the question. You know the results of man's actions with and without desire. When a person performs activities with a desire to enjoy, what they get and how they enjoy, that you understand being a king, you know all these things. And also when a person performs activities without desire to enjoy, then what they will get, that also you understand. Because you are not ordinary person. You are already self-realized. So in that sense. By your inner vision, Adhyatma Chakshusha, you know this. So Prahlad is asking, what do I know? You know the results of work with desire and with no desire. Iha parama mayaha. Paramayoho. If I do not realize the suffering of people who make themselves fat by endeavoring for enjoyment, I would make those endeavors. This is the indication. So what exactly when the Avadutta Brahmana said that you being a great devotee, being glorified by knowledgeable people, because knowledgeable people consider you as a great knowledgeable person. So you know what is the reason for the what I'm doing, for what I'm doing. So the what is intending is if I did not realize the suffering of people who make themselves fat by endeavoring for enjoyment, I would make those endeavors. So Prahlad Maharaj's first question is that people who endeavor get money, spend money, enjoy, become fat. But you, in spite of working hard, became fat. How? Then he says that if I did not know, if I never knew that, if I never understood that work in this material world only produces misery, I also would have been one among the common people. I also would have been working very hard to enjoy. But I have understood that none of the material activities will give enjoyment. So I am not engaged in material work. But because none of the material activities will give happiness. And if there is no happiness, one cannot become fat. So when none of the material activities are not leading to happiness, why would I perform material activities? That's why I'm not performing any material activities. But I am happy. As a result of that, I am fat. So what makes him happy and all will be mentioned later on at the end of his discussion, but later on after few verses. But as of now, he says that I have realized that no material activities will lead to happiness. Okay. Natai sukam vana yaduparamam va vindeta bhuya tatayeva dukkham yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadena. This is a verse spoken by Vidura asking a question to Maitreya. As far as my knowledge goes, I've been the minister for 100 years. I've been traveling for last 36 years. With an experience of 136 years, I'm saying that people are performing activities to mitigate their misery and get happiness. Instead, they are only getting more misery. What is the reason for this? What is the remedy for this? This was the question asked by Vidura unto Maitreya. Now, the same. He is giving an answer in advance only. As per my understanding, none of the material activities lead to happiness. And no person will become, such a person will never become fat by being happy. So that is the understanding. So then he says, Yasya Narayano Deva
Yasya Narayano Devo
Bhagavan Hrudgata Sada
Bhagavan Hridgata Sada
Bhaktya Kevalayan Jnanam
Bhaktya Kevalaya Jnanam
Dunoti Dhavatam Dunoti Dhavantamarkavat.
Dunoti Dvantamarkavat.
Oh, sorry.
Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full of all opulences, is predominant within the core of your heart because of your being a pure devotee. He always drives away all the darkness of ignorance, as the sun drives away the darkness of the universe.
Lord Narayana, the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan, who resides in your heart at all times because of your pure bhakti. Normally, in the heart of every jiva, there is Paramatma. But in your heart, Bhagavan is there. Because of your pure bhakti, the Bhagavan personally is there in your heart. And that Bhagavan has destroyed all dark ignorance like the sun. The Bhagavan being situated in the core of the heart like a sun, he removed all the ignorance. This is your current state. So like that, he's telling. He explains why Prahlada asks Kevalaya means bhakti without a mixture of jnana or karma. Because Prahlad Maharaj already has knowledge. How? By the touch of Lord Narsingadev on the forehead of Prahlad Maharaj. When Prahlad Maharaj came forward to offer prayers and offered obeisances, Lord Narsingadev lifted him up and touched on his forehead. By the touch, Prahlad Maharaj is endowed with all the knowledge that has been glorified by all the great sages. And now he says, the Bhagavan is there in the heart of you, in the core of your heart always, and you are fully knowledgeable person. You understand all this. I don't have to explain you specifically. So like that indirectly is telling. Tatapi, even though, since you are asking me, I will tell. Even though it is not required to tell you, because you are already well knowledgeable, but still since you are asking, I will tell you. Tatapi bhrumahe prashnam
तथापि ब्रूमहे प्रश्न
tava rajanyata shrutam
तव राजन् यथा श्रुतम्
sambhashaniyo hi bhagavan
भाषणीयो हि भवान्
Atmanaha Shuddhimichata.
Atmana Shuddhimicchata. My dear king, although you know everything, you have posed some questions which I shall try to answer according to what I have by hearing from the authorities. I cannot remain silent in this regard, for a personality like you is just fit to be spoken to by one who desires self purification.
O king, thus I will answer your questions as I have heard from authorities. I will speak to you because you desire purification of the self. So many people came and they asked so many things, I never responded. But you are already a great devotee, the Bhagavan's Swayam situated in your heart, and all the great sages glorify you as the most knowledgeable person, even though you know everything. But still, you have asked me with the intense desire of getting purified. So I will speak to you, I will respond. I respect you. Thus, though I have taken a vow of silence, I'll break that vow for you. Thus, I am speaking answers as I have heard. These are not concocted answers. As I have heard and as I have learned from my Guru, I am speaking to you. So, like that, the Avaduta Brahmana is telling, I'm going to give the answer to Prahlad Maharaj. Please hear why I am detached from material action. This is explained in next 3 verses. It is already hinted that why this person is not performing any activities for happiness. So now he is going to elaborate that particular thing in next 3 verses. Hare Krishna, all devotees are able to follow. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
No problem.
Prabhuji, like since the time we are reading about this Avadhuta state, like they are means physically at the physical plane, they are inactive completely, and they don't even try to endeavor to sustain themselves. Whatever comes on their way, they will take. But Prabhuji, what is the state at the mind level of this? Like means we see that actual means at least again you will say that you always compare with the bhakti process and the jnana process, but this question does arise that we see here the sannyasis, they are so much actively involved in preaching. So all the time either they are doing kirtanam of the Lord, or they will be doing shravanam and adhyanam or nididhyasa, whatever. But when we see such state, like they are physically inactive, but mentally, what is their state? Prabhuji? They are
Dhyana.
not in mudra of dhyana.
They'll be doing dhyana always.
So they just meditate on the Lord, just lying like that. They are not even
Yes.
in the position of a yogi, na, sitting for dhyana. He is
This we
just
can say
lying.
they are in Shavasana. They are in Shavasana and doing it.
But does Shastras recommend like that, Prabhuji? Like dhyana can be done in the Shavasana push?
No, see, in Jnana there are multiple stages, na? Putichaka, Bahoda, Parivrajaka, Paramamsa, like that.
Yeah.
So these are beyond Paramahamsa, they become like this. They become like Ajagara, Ayachita Brahmanas, Ayachita Sannyasis. This is a stage further to Sannyasa, Paramahamsa Sannyasa. Paramahamsa is traveling from village to village. He is not even doing that. They can beg. Paramahamsa can beg, but he's not even begging. He's one step ahead. Everyone may not do like this, but some will do like this.
Okay. So in Paramahamsas also there are two types. Like one will be begging, one will be like this. Like that.
Yes. The begging is lower state and not begging is higher state.
Okay. And Prabhuji, does the body become spiritualized at the stage of Paramahamsa?
I don't know. See, you are not identifying with the body only. So whether body becomes spiritualized or not, it does not matter, na? Why you want the
No,
body to become spiritual? You are not taking the body with you. Then there is no point in making the body spiritual. Because the Atma is only going to transcendence, then why to make the body to spiritual?
okay. Because like why I asked Prabhuji, like because for a materialistic person or even for a sadhaka, we see that if the body is not taken care of, like in terms of proper exercise or things like that, it will show a lot of problems. Means especially as when the age advances. But
See,
if
the
somebody,
problems will come only city people who are in anxiety with all the material things. But such a sadhu who does not have, even problem comes, also does not take care, does not care. Like Raghunath Das Goswami, how does he live?
yeah,
He was not eating. Even at one time he had a diarrhea, and doctor came and told, "Have you eaten any sweet rice?" Ah, yes, I ate sweet rice. Where? In the Leela.
yeah. So they must be thriving on that thing only. The body thrives
Ah,
on.
yes. So they are in Smaranam. These people are in Dhyanam. That's all. That is the only difference.
Yes, understood. Thank you.
Krishnaya Bhavavahinya
Krishnaya Bhavavahina
Yogyai Kamer Apuryaya
Yoge Kamera Apuryaya
Karmani Karyamanoham
Karmani Karyamanoham
Nana Yonishu Yojitaha.
Nana Yonishu Yojita. Translation. Because of insatiable material desires, I was being I was being carried away by the waves of material nature's laws, and thus I engaged in different activities, struggling for existence in various forms of life.
So here it is said that he says, being forced to perform actions by a thirst which cannot be satisfied by attaining material objects and which cause repeated birth. I have been born in many forms of life. So, my dear friend, don't think that I never performed any activities. I have done all these activities. I had ambitions, I had desires to fulfill. For that fulfillment of those desires, I have worked very hard. As a result of that, I have to take birth after birth after birth after birth after birth. Like that cycle was going on, going on, going on, going on, going on, going on. I've been born in various species for many lifetimes. That is only because of the desire to fulfill my material ambitions. I've been working hard. I have been made to perform actions because of thirst for desires which cannot be satisfied. It is not that I had one desire and I fulfilled and there will be no more desire. No. By the time I fulfill one desire, the 10 desires are already manifested. By the time I fulfill those 10 desires, 100 desires are manifested. It will be ever increasing. There is no full stop to material thirst. I have been made to perform actions because of thirst for desires which cannot be satisfied, which create the real river of samsara. Bhava Vahinya. One desire is enough to start a ocean with so many waves of lifetimes of bondage. I have done all these things. Like Bharat Maharaj also, as Bharat Maharaj did everything, as a goat, he does not want to waste his life by just listening to say what sages are doing. And then he became a Brahmana, Bharata. He did not do anything because he has done everything in the past lives. Now he's simply behaving like a retarded person. No material gain, no material fame, no material activities. So like that. He says, I have done all these activities for many lifetimes. Then what I have understood is there is no end to the desires. That is what I have understood. It keep increasing only. Just as one cannot cross a river on one's own, one cannot surpass the thirst for pleasure. Just like we cannot cross the speedy flowing river like Ganga, we cannot go across on our own by swimming. Similarly, the thirst for material pleasure will never end. It will never come to full stop. Though rivers are filled with waters by Indra showers, desired objects are never satisfying. Though supplied profusely by Brahma, even Brahma is ready to fulfill all our desires, still our desires will never be satisfied. It will never complete. That is like that. A river becomes overflowed when Indra downpours lot of rain. Similarly, even there is Brahma standing to fulfill all one's desire, still one can never become desireless, one never come to end of the desires. That is the nature of material desires and material activities. Just as a river, while flowing, rises up and covers grass, wood, stones, and thorns, I contact various bodies, birth after birth. As more and more water is increasing, the river not only flows in the river bed, it covers the nearby areas, whether there may be stones, grass, wood, even villages, they will all get into the river. Similarly, because of fulfilling my desires, for one desire I become human being, for another desire I became Devata, for another desire I become Gandharva, and became that, this, like that. I have become all the species. Just as one has to escape from the crocodiles and turtles in the river by various methods. If one is trying to swim across the river, one has to escape from the attack of crocodiles, turtles, etc. I have to escape from my suffering by various actions. In every species, when I was born, there are so many problems like hunger and thirst. To fulfill and to address them, I need to work hard. I worked hard in every life to fulfill the needs of myself, my body and mind. So like that, he was doing it. He was telling, in many lifetimes I was doing all these things. Don't think that I have not done anything. Yadrichaya lokamimam
Yadrichaya lokamimam
prapitaha karmabir brahmam
prapitaha karmabhir brahman
sargapavargayor dwaram
Svargapavargayor
tirasham punarasya cha.
tirascham punarasya cha. In the course of the evolutionary process, which is caused by fruitive activities due to undesirable material sense gratification, I have received this human form of life, which can lead to the heavenly planets, to liberation, to the lower species, or to rebirth among human beings.
So he says that in various lifetimes I have been performing so many different type of activities. Sometimes I have performed activities to go to Swarga. I might have gone or not gone, I don't know. Sometimes I might have performed activities which will award me liberation, jnana, yoga, etc. But I have not attained liberation. Now I have taken birth as a human being. Tirasham punarasya cha. I am almost very close to Swarga and Apavaraga, but I could not attain. I came back and took birth as a human being because of my previous karmas. It's like that, he says. Just the river sometimes comes up to the crossroads of a town. I have now attained the human form by pious acts which lead to Swarga, and by jnana and bhakti which lead to liberation, and by sin which leads to animal births such as pig. I've been doing all these things. I've been performing pious activities, impious activities, and bhakti activities. I was supposed to attain liberation. I was supposed to go to Swarga. I was supposed to go here and there, but I don't know whether I've gone or not. Certainly, I have not attained liberation. That's why I've taken birth as a human being. Now I am here. He was talking about his entire previous life, his background, his stories, and all. Everything is telling. After performing pious and sinful acts and enjoying the corresponding results, I have again come to human form. Then he says, so the question is, so you have been telling that you have been living in so many species and you have been performing so many activities, you have been traveling here and there everywhere. You have taken birth as a human being. No. Have you not experienced any joy? Never. Tatra, so what was your realization of traveling through all these species? Now he is telling. Tatrapi dampatinam cha
Tatrapi dampatinam cha
sukayanyaya jnapanuttaye
sukhayanyapanittaye
karmani kurvatam društva
karmani kurvatam drashtva
nivruttosmi viparyayam.
nivruttosmi viparyayam. In this human form of life, men and women unite for the sensual pleasure of sex. But by actual experience, we have observed that none of them are happy. Therefore, seeing the contrary results, I have stopped taking part in materialistic activity.
Seeing the suffering of men and women from performance of actions meant for removing misery and creating happiness. I have become detached from all actions. In many lifetimes, I have seen that the wife and husband, after marriage, they stay together in order to remove their current misery and get new happiness. But I have not seen that somebody who removed their current misery and attained new happiness. Having seen this for many lifetimes, I have completely given up performing material activities. No worldly activities. This is his realization. Even in the human form, I experience suffering. Seeing the opposite appear by actions meant to destroy suffering and bring happiness, I have become detached from performing actions. So basically, people perform activities to destroy their current suffering due to poverty and also earn more money and enjoy. That is the purpose for which people are working. Currently, they are poor, they need money, they are working. When they get money, they enjoy, they become happy. But their activities are only giving opposite results. Removing misery, earning money, getting new happiness will not happen. Instead, the current misery will be as it is and new misery will add on to it. Having seen this for many lifetimes, I am detached, completely detached. So like that he says, I am completely detached from performing material activities. Then Prahlad Maharaj says, but sometimes one gets happiness by actions. No, you cannot outrightly say that every person will get only misery by the activities. But sometimes some people get happiness also from their activities. Why should one give up action completely? Then why have you given up the action completely? The activities which they are doing may not be giving happiness, but if they do proper activity, they may get happiness. So how can you say that I've given up all the activities, you could have done something else? Then the sage says, the Avadutta Brahmana says, happiness is the swarupa of the jiva. My dear friend, understand that the real happiness is the swarupa of the jiva. Satchit Ananda Swarupa. The Swarupa of Jiva is Sat Chit Ananda. The Ananda is natural for this Jiva. Ananda does not come by performing little activities. Ananda will come when one is situated in one's own constitutional position in Atma platform. Then Ananda will come automatically because that is the Swarupa of the Jiva. Then Prahlad Maharaj says, how does that manifest? When does one realize one's own Swarupa and then experience the real happiness? That is the question. Now the answer is Sukham asyatmano rupam
Sukham astayamano rupam
sarveho parataistanu
sarveho paritastano
mana sansparshajan društva
mana samparsha jana shri drishta drishtva
Bhogan Bhogan Swapshami Samvishan.
bhogas swapyami samvishan. Translation: the actual form of life of living activities is one of spiritual happiness, which is real happiness. This happiness can be achieved only when one stops of materialistic activities. Material sense enjoyment is simply imagination. Therefore, considering this subject matter, I have ceased from all the material activities and I am lying down here.
Happiness lies in Atma. The real happiness lies in Atma, not in the material activities. Detachment from all material pleasure is the cause of this happening. Now the question is, how does this happen? How does one realize one's own Sarupa and experience real happiness? That is possible when one detaches oneself from all material pleasures, then one will be able to experience the pleasure of Atma. Because the real happiness is for Sarupa, with the one's own Atma. Somebody may say that no, there is happiness in eating some palatable dishes, there is happiness in traveling, there is happiness in sleeping, all these things one may say. But they are all called as material pleasures. When one gives up all these so-called material pleasures, then one experiences the real happiness of Atma. What was that verse from Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter? Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkayonaya evate adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate Buddha. Buddha means those who are endeavoring for Atma Sakshatkar. Such a person does not experience joy in the material pleasures. When the material senses come in contact with the material sense objects, such a Buddha, such a knowledgeable person who is endeavoring to attain the Atma Sakshatkar will never relish them. Only a person who gives up completely the material pleasures will experience Atma and will experience the true happiness. Detachment is the body for the bliss of Atma. For material pleasure, we need material body. Without material body, we neither smell, nor hear, nor taste, nor touch, and nor hearing, nor see. All these things we are able to do only because of the material body. Because we are having material body, we are able to experience material happiness. Similarly, the detachment is the body for the bliss of Atma. If you want to experience the bliss of Atma, one need to enter into the body of detachment. That is the understanding. Sukha asya atmano rupam. Since I can see that material enjoyment arises by a desire alone, I remain sleeping here, absorbed in Atma. So, my dear friend, I am already completely given of all the material desires and material activities. I am completely in detachment. That's why I'm experiencing my Atma. I'm experiencing real happiness. That's why I'm stout. I don't have to eat so much food to become stout. I'm already experiencing intense bliss by being situated in my own Swarupa. So I'm happy and I'm stout. That is understanding. Since I can see that material enjoyment arises by material desire alone, I remain sleeping here. I don't want to do any activities. Why people have perform activities? Because they have a material desire to experience material happiness. They are performing activities. I neither have material desire nor I am interested in material happiness. So why should I perform material activity? Instead, I am situated in complete detachment and situated in my own swarupa, and hence I am experiencing intense bliss. Thus, the external symptom is I'm stout and fat as a result of that. This happiness arises from detachment from all thirst for material objects, which arises from material activities. Here mean the activities in this world. Detachment is the body which will produce spiritual bliss. Just as one cannot enjoy without a body, so without renunciation of enjoyment, one cannot experience the bliss of Atma. I think this should be the take-home message for today's class. Normally we say that I've been practicing bhakti for so many years, decades हो गए, अभी तक कुछ नहीं लग रहा है. I'm not experiencing any bliss. All these things we may say. We'll be able to experience the bliss when we renounce all the material desires and material happiness. Till then, Hare Krishna. So like that. Seeing the material enjoyment arises from material desires and are all flickering. Adi antavanta kaunteya. They have beginning and end, and therefore distasteful. I remain enjoying the happiness of Atma, which is by nature eternal. The material pleasures are flickering, but the spiritual pleasure is by nature eternal. And I sleep on the bed of divine flowers in the form of detachment. All of you might be seeing externally that I am lying on the roadside and my whole body is covered with dust. But for me, I'm lying on the, or instead, I, I sleep on the bed of divine flowers in the form of detachment. This explains the cause of his being fat and his enjoyment. Externally, I may be sleeping on the bare floor, clothless and covered with dust and all. But actually, in the core of my heart, I am lying down on the bed of flowers, which are actually divine in nature, divine bed, divine flowers. In the midst of them, I am sleeping and enjoying the transcendental bliss. So this is what is status. There is one verse comes in the 11th canto. Pingala says, Ashahi paramam dukkam, nairashyam paramam sukam. Iti sanchinte kantasi sukam suswapa pingala. Those people who have asha, material desire, they certainly experience dukkha. And those people who does not have any material desires, nairashyam paramam sukam, that will give them the highest happiness, paramasuka. So understanding this, Pingala went to sleep without any desire to get any more customer. Whole day she was standing on the roads and looking for customer. This customer come and enjoy me. This customer gonna come and give me enjoyment. Like that she was thinking whole day. It is more than midnight, but no customer came. Then she realized that as long as there is a desire, there will be misery. When there is no desire, there will be no misery. That was the conclusion. Ashahi paramam dukkam nairashyam paramam sukam. Iti sanchinta gnantasi sukam suswapa pingala. So like that. Here, this person understanding what is the nature of this world, he has given up all the material desires, material activities. He is simply lying down on the ground and realized his own Atma and experiencing the bliss of Atma, and he is completely satisfied and hence is fat. Answer is given. The doctor, of course, some of you are doctors also. The doctor says that absence of activity is the cause of obesity. So we see people around us, some of them are fatty. So that fatness is not because of happiness, that fatness because of some medical reasons and the kind of food that we are eating aajkal. But according to medical, they say that so without, if somebody does not do any physical activity, they will get obesity and they become fat. Or though I do not experience bliss of the self completely because of small trace of material thirst, after 5 days, with complete destruction of that material thirst, I will be completely absorbed in that bliss and will sleep happily. So like that, is telling, the Avadhuta Brahmana is telling. Even though you may think that I am not fully realized not now today, but very soon I'll get realization. With that, that will give me happiness and I'm fat. So like that. According to Medini, Samvesha means sleep, a relationship with women. Thus, in general, the word indicates someone desiring enjoyment. So like that. So in this way, the Avadhuta Brahmana saying that what was the reason for my happiness and what was the reason for my being stout. So
Hare
he gave
Krishna.
answer. Yes, Madhuji.
Guruji, there are 2-3 things. Like first is he's saying that because of the small trace of material thirst, I'm not experiencing that bliss completely, bliss of self-realization. But after 5 days, with complete destruction of that thirst, I will be absorbed in that bliss. So, like how he is so precisely forecasting that after 5 days, all my material desires
No,
will
not exactly 5 days. He's actually giving a hope to another sadhakas. Anyone follows in my footsteps like this, while practicing sadhana, they should have some enthusiasm to go ahead. So even if they are not experiencing complete bliss of Atma, so please wait for 5 more days, do it like this, definitely we'll get it.
Okay.
So he's
And
giving a hope and also he also giving assurance. Why? Because he is a special person. Who is he? We'll understand at the end of the chapter. He is giving assurance. If somebody follows like this, so 5 days would be like approximate, may not exactly 5 days, but few days just to drag on further.
okay.
Hmm.
And Prabhuji, you mentioned about the Pingala's saying that Nairasham Paramam Sukham. So, like the word Nairasha itself has the connotation that somebody is unhappy. So, how that unhappiness can become the happiness? Like, maybe.
No, see, it is not that just by being Nairasha one is becoming happy. No, not like that. The understanding is that see, there is Sakama Karma and Nishkama Karma Yoga. How do you explain them? Sakama Karma and Nishkama Karma Yoga. What is the meaning of these two words?
It's a karma yogi performs karma with the desire of sense gratification. Niskama
Okay, then
karma yogi does the karma as an offering to the Lord. So there are this means I won't say that there is complete zero desire for sense gratification, but in compared to sakama karma, it is significantly.
No, don't give your own explanation. Nishkama Karma Yoga means zero desires for sense gratification.
Okay.
No, don't give a new definition. Don't change it.
Okay, sorry.
Nishkama Karma Yoga means no personal desire to enjoy. They perform all the duties for the purpose of attaining liberation. That is their goal. No material desires, only spiritual desire.
Okay. So
Nishkama means no material desire.
Okay.
That is the Karma Yogi. He performs all the household duties for the purpose of attaining liberation. Same way, Nairashya means no material desire, but still they perform all the activities with the intention to attain liberation.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
So the goal is liberation.
Ah,
Okay. And probably like here we are seeing that he was saying that he will remain at the stage of Atma, like that, na? Then all these his desires will be completely vanished. So this is what all we are discussing from the Jnana perspective. So if we have to, and you also said that this is a message for the today, and means that sentence itself came as a very grave thing. Like so, as a sadhaka on the path of bhakti, how we how we apply that concept and what should be our actually practically state as a sadhak.
see, Mataji, whether one may be a devotee or jnani or yogi, the principle is same. But how do we apply that principle? The details vary. Now, for a jnani, the detachment is the vehicle. When one is a grahastha, he will perform nishkama karma yoga. When one becomes vanaprastha, he performs severe austerities. When one becomes sannyasi, he is doing all these things now, what we are discussing. The detachment is the vehicle for climbing onto which one will go to transcendence. So here, in one sense, apparently, they want to cut all relation with the material world. Even while in the grihasthashram, they'll be doing all the duties, but they are not interested in enjoying any result. They do as a matter of duty. Then vanaprastha, they don't even wear clothing. They don't even construct a home. They live in they live on the bare floor only, open ground. And sannyasi, they can't even stay at one place. They keep traveling. And the highest stage of sannyasi is that they're lying down like a python. But in doing all these things is the vehicle is detachment. One who is completely detached from the material world and material desires and material activities, then one experiences Atma, then one experiences the joy of being situated in the Atma. That Swarupananda. That is the real happiness and that is eternal happiness. None of the material pleasures are everlasting. They are short-lived.
That is understood, Prabhuji.
So, but the even for a devotee also same thing. I'm just trying to put it for devotee condition. Even for a devotee also, one may be living in the midst of all the opulences, but according to the principle, one should never use anything for one's own happiness. One should use everything for the service of Supreme Lord. That is the principle. The details may vary. Whether you stay away from everything, whether you use everything for the service of Supreme Lord. Without detachment, even a devotee also will not go back to Godhead.
That yes, Prabhuji, even Lord says that means Vairagyam should be there, and you see that that is also one of the greatest opulence of the Lord. So, but being in amidst the all things of sense enjoyment, uh, always trying to keep the mind that yes, I have to use this for the service of the Lord, or I want to use this for the service of the Lord. It becomes at times very difficult that when subtly our desires will enter under the cover of satisfying the Lord, it is very thin line, na Prabhuji. That's what I'm.
No, it is not thin line, it is a long way. Currently, we are still at Sakama platform. We think that without all these things, we cannot practice bhakti. I need all these things. That means we are in Sakama platform. When one goes beyond that, when one enters into Nishkama platform, then one will be able to perform bhakti even without the aid of anything also. So it is a long way to go. One need to work hard to come to that platform. Currently, we are not discussing about a brahmachari or grahastha. We are discussing about a sannyasi, and that sannyasi also passing through all the 4 stages. He has come to 5th stage. Kutichaka, Bahavoda, Parivrajaka and Paramahamsa. The fifth stage is Avaduta. It is like
Yes.
topmost stage, one step before obtaining liberation.
Yeah.
And we are talking about that person, and we cannot compare that person's status of consciousness with us. Currently, certainly, we are still conditioned. We still have so many attachments. We still have so many requirements. All these things. So we cannot equate with that person. We have a long way to go there.
Yes, true. True.
When one
Understood.
comes to that platform, one obviously will behave like that only.
Yes.
So may not be lying down on the ground and was smeared with the dust and all, but at least consciousness point of view, one is completely indifferent to all the material opulences and material things. One is only interested in serving the Lord. Like Mahaprabhu displayed the characteristics of Gambira. That will happen at the final
So
stage.
maybe
So
probably when
at that point of time, what material desire such a person has, what material activity such a person performs.
you're asking me to.
And I'm just conveying that. So at that point of time, no material activities, no material concerns, no material happiness and all. They are completely absorbed in releasing Krishna Prema. Here this person is releasing Atma. There the devotees relish Seva, Bhagavan, Prema. So it's like that.
Like actually that I understood. There is no need of comparing because we are at the Grihastha level as a sadhaka. So maybe when the Grihastha we will discuss that time, it may come little closer to us what we are
Yes.
doing.
So currently what we are discussing for a jnani is for a devotee like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The state of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or state of Goswamis,
Yes.
how they behaved in their fag end of life. That kind of state we are discussing now.
Yes. Thank you.
A sannyasi is no more ordinary sadhaka. He has gone through all the hardships. Now he is already self-realized, almost self-realized. He's on the verge of entering into Sahajya Mukti. So Usyam is like the perfectional stage almost at. But the principle is same. Whether one is following jnana or one is following bhakti, the principle is detachment. Without detachment, one can never ever attain the desired success. Now Prahlad Maharaj asks a question. And thus, how can anyone be happy? As long as a person has material desire, how can a person will be happy? Not possible. The same thing is explained in the next verse. Iti etadatma iti etadatmana swartam
इति एतद् आत्मनः स्वार्थं
santam vismrutya vaipuman
सन्तं विस्मृत्य वै पुमान्
vichitram asati dvaite
विचित्राम् असति द्वैते
ghoram apnoti samshritim.
घोराम् आप्नोति संस्मृतिम्. In this way, the conditioned soul living within the body forgets his self-interest because he identifies himself with the body. Because the body is material, his natural tendency is to be attracted by the varieties of the material world. Thus, the living entity suffers the miseries of material existence.
In this way, forgetting one's own interest, the jiva accepts fearful material existence with a temporary identity of body and other things. In what way? 27 में क्या बताया था? Happiness lies in Atma. The real happiness lies in Atma. Detachment from all material pleasures is the cause of that real happiness. Detachment in the body for the bliss of Atma. Since I see that material enjoyment arises by desire alone, I remain sleeping here, absorbed in Atma. Since I can see that material enjoyment arises by material desire alone. So taking this point as a reference, if somebody is living for fulfilling their material desires only, what will happen to them? They forget one's own interest. Nathe vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. The real interest of self is forgotten. Such a jiva accepts the temporary material body as the self and tries to enjoy in that body. I am a human being. I am an engineer. I am husband. I am wife. I am mother. I am father. I am this. I am that. And trying to enjoy in the temporary material identity. Forgetting one's form of real happiness, the Atma. One accepts samsara with duality, a condition of suffering, in the form of the body and other things associated with the body. Though these things do not exist in the Atma, Asati can, though actually these things, Atma is nothing to do with all these material things. Atma has nothing to do with the material body. The family possessions, family wealth, all those things. They never belong to Atma, they never come with Atma. They are only connected to the body. When we are born in a particular family, that family opulences will be part of the, will be connected to that body. When we give up that body, the family opulence also should be given up. So they does not belong to Atma, instead they belong to the body only. Thus, an example is given to make it clear. To understand this, an example is given. This is the last verse for today because this 29th verse section is completing. Jalam tadudbhavaischannam
Jalam tadudbhavaishchannam
itvagno jalakamyaya
hitvadnyo jalakamyaya
mrugatrishnamupadavet
mrugatrishnamupādhāvet
tatanyartartadruk swata.
tathānyatrārtha-druk-swatā. Just as a deer, because of ignorance, cannot see the water within a well covered by grass, but runs after water elsewhere, the living entity covered by the material body does not see the happiness within himself, but runs after happiness in the material.
Just as a deer thirsty for water gives up real water which was covered by green grasses and chases a mirage. Because it's a desert, chases a mirage. Similarly, the jiva giving up the real happiness of Atma covered by the material body, identifying oneself with the material body, searches for happiness elsewhere. This is the reason. This is the reason for our material suffering. Water is covered by grass growing over the water, not caused by the water. Similarly, the happiness of Atma is covered by the grass of Maya covering it. Similarly, our real happiness is covered by the grass of Maya, covered by that material body, which is created by the Maya. Giving up that happiness, one looks elsewhere. Giving up the real happiness, we look for happiness elsewhere. The real happiness is in Atma, but we are looking for happiness in eating pizza, pasta, traveling different places, hearing rock music, like that, etc., etc. Other than oneself for the real happiness. So this is what I have understood. That's why I have given up all the material activities and I'm experiencing happiness because I have taken up renunciation, detachment, and because I'm happy, I'm stout. Like that, the Avaduta Brahmana has been conversing with our Prahlad Maharaj. So we'll stop here both late, okay? Hope I am not confused. All of you are following what we are discussing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Hare
thank
Krishna,
you.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yes,
very much.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, this Avadhut Brahman is the same Avadhut Brahmana who is described in 11th canto, the Dattatreya. Or
We will
somebody.
see. We will see next week who is he and all we'll discuss next week.
Okay.
Later verses will tell that. Okay, we'll stop here for today. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. So we'll again meet next Saturday. Next Sunday is